So we we're harvesting tons and tons of product every year, all the time, from every field. So we're taking lots of nutrients, lots of organic matter out of the soil. So we have to somehow replenish the soil all the time. And the way that we do it is we, for one thing, we grow something called cover crops. And cover crops are a crop that we are growing just for the soil, not for us to sell. And it's usually a legume and a grain, and it can be any time of year, and is always once a year for every field. Every field will have a cover crop. So winter cover crop might be something like vetch, which is a legume, and oats, which is a grain. And those legumes, what they're doing for us is they're taking nitrogen out of the air and putting it into the soil. Okay, so they're not using nitrogen that's already in the soil to grow. They're using nitrogen out of the air to grow. So that puts added nitrogen into the soil. And what those grains do, grains are just they don't need a lot of nutrition to grow, and they have a network of very, very deep roots. And we like to grow those grains and then turn them back into the soil, partly because they bring nutrients up from deep layers of the soil, and secondly, because we like to provide a carbon source for the high nitrogen legume. So we're adding organic matter to the soil. And what happens when we add organic matter to the soil is it has better water retention when there's more organic matter, so that when you irrigate or when it rains, that water will stay in the soil longer. It also, adding all of that organic matter, it also gives the microbes in the soil, it gives them food. Whereas if we just got a bag of nitrogen, phosphorus, and potassium, basically conventional type fertilizer, if we just get a bag and put it in the water and then use that water to feed the crops, it's not really feeding the soil. It's feeding the crops a little bit, but it's feeding them kind of like a fast food diet, right? A little bit of sugar, little tiny, teeny, weeny bit of protein, it's like fast food. It makes them grow fast, but it doesn't give them sustained long-term nutrition. And what we're doing is we're building a soil here that has microbial activity. All those nutrient cycles are happening. The organic materials are breaking down.